Welcome back to Mr. Leek's free science tutorials. The question that I'm going to be dealing with in this video is name 3 specialised plant and 3 animal cells and how are they adapted to their role. So basically you need 3 specialised animal cells and 3 specialised plant cells and what their adaptations are. Now what it means by the adaptations is, in a previous video we talked about the eukaryotic animal cell. This is just a typical cell, right? And what it's got the 5 different things in it. The specialisms is where the actual cells themselves have become different, even though they still contain the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the cell membrane, the ribosomes and the mitochondrion, right? But things are just slightly different. So name 3 specialised plant and animal cells. Animal cells tend to be easier because they kind of make a little bit more sense, and we've got to talk about the adaptation. So what you could do is 3 specialised animal cells, and how are they adapted to their role would be a nerve cell. A nerve cell is adapted, and it's a big long thing with kind of spidery parts of the ends, right? And its role is to carry electrical signals, right? So if I hurt my finger, an electrical signal goes down the nerves all the way to my spinal cord and does whatever it needs to do. They are long branched connections and insulating sheaths. So basically that means around the outside of each individual nerve there's like insulation, a bit like plastic around the outside of a wire. And if there wasn't any, all the electricity from the nerves would then disappear. A sperm, right? Everybody recognises the sperm, and what it is, it's got the tail for swimming, it's got the head that contains the DNA, half the chromosomes, and then it's got a little area there which then contains the mitochondrion. So the role of the sperm is to fertilise an egg. It's streamlined with a long tail, an acrosome, which is the head bit, containing enzymes. And what the role of the acrosome is, that contains the enzyme, is when the sperm actually hits into the egg, this kind of acrosome area sort of has enzymes in it that pop, right? Well, the enzymes don't pop, but the actual acrosome itself pops, and the enzymes then go and affect the outside of the egg. They also have a large number of mitochondrion, which is in that little bit there. Now, the reason why there's a large number of mitochondrion then is because that needs a lot of energy. A muscle. Muscles are long. Now the key to a muscle is they can only contract, right? So when I move my finger up like that, these muscles here are contracting and pulling it along. For me to push my finger back, it's muscles along the back of my finger. And they contain a large number of mitochondria and are long. Plant cells, what we've got here is we've got 3. We've got root hair, we've got xylem, and we've got phloem. The root hair, you can tell what's its specialism or how it's specialised. It's a typical plant cell, but it's got kind of a bit sticking out of the side. Its role is to absorb water and minerals from the soil, and it's got hair-like projections to increase the surface area. So increasing the surface area basically means that if you chopped off that little hair bit there, then what you would is you have to have all that surface around the outside of there to absorb different substances. The xylem and the phloem are 2 that I think sort of confuse a little bit. The xylem, right, what that does, it carries water and minerals. So basically what it does, it takes water and minerals in the roots and it goes up the plant and then it goes out of the leaves. That is called transpiration. So maybe xylem could be exit, exit, xylem. Dead cells and cell walls are toughened by lignin and flow in one direction. So the xylem only goes up. Phloem, that's got a much more complicated, and this is called translocation. And if you think translocation, trans means kind of moving around. Location is moving around where it is, the location of it. And what this does, it carries the glucose. So when the glucose is made in the leaves by photosynthesis, the phloem then transport it to all the parts of the plant that need it. They're living cells, the cells have end plates with holes and they flow in both directions to transport the glucose around. Now, if we go back to the question, right, what you then need to do is you then need to be able to recite the answers to this question. Name 3 specialised plant and 3 specialised animal cells and how are they adapted to their role. This is then what you need to write or remember. 3 specialised animal cells are the nerve. The nerve role is to carry electrical signals. It is long, or has long branch connections and insulating sheaths. A sperm is specialised, and what its role is to fertilise an egg. Its specialism is streamlined with a long tail, allowing it to swim. It has an acrosome containing enzymes to break into the egg, and it has a large number of mitochondria to give it a considerable amount of energy. A muscle, it contracts to allow movement, and it also contains a large number of mitochondria, and a muscle cell is also very long. The specialisms of plant cells. A root hair, its role is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. Its specialism is the fact that it has hair-like projections to increase the surface area. Xylem is the exit one. Its role is to carry water and minerals, basically up from the soil, and this is called transpiration. And it's made up of dead cells, and the cell walls are toughened by a substance called lignin, and it flows in one direction. Phloem, the role of phloem is to carry glucose. This is called translocation. Living cells, and the cells have end plates with holes, and it flows in both directions. So, to answer the question, name 3 specialised plant and animal cells and how are they adapted to their role. You will say a nerve carries electrical signals and has long branch connections and insulating sheath. A sperm fertilises an egg. It is streamlined with a long tail. Acrosome contains enzymes and it has a large number of mitochondria. A muscle contracts to allow movement and it contains a large number of mitochondria. They are also long. In a plant, a root hair absorbs water and minerals from the soil and it has hair-like projections to increase the surface area. Xylem carries water and minerals. This process is called transpiration and it's made up of dead cells, and the cells are toughened by lignin, and it flows in one direction from the soil to basically the leaves. Phloem carries glucose. This is called translocation, and it has living cells, and the cells have end plates with holes, and it flows in both directions. They are the answers to an extended question. Name 3 specialised plant and 3 animal cells, and how are they adapted to their role?